Today I want to tour you around campus and show you some of the highlights and tell you a little bit about my favorite places.
Another edition of the new ND Nation Radio.
We're going inside them. We're going outside them. Inside them and outside them. And when we get them on the run once, we're going to keep them on the run.
And Notre Dame, as number one goes down, Syracuse undefeated no more.
This is now top-notch college hockey.
Everything here at Notre Dame has been done on faith and a commitment to excellence. You are Notre Dame. You are special.
You would impart some wisdom or some tips on the guys coming in.
I would probably say stay on top of your academics.
Walk out, he broke free at the 30, 35, 40. The Rocket is going to do it again.
And you're also going to walk out of here with a degree from the University of Notre Dame. In this lifetime, you don't have to prove nothing to nobody except yourself.
You know, just play like a champion sign. Rocket Ishmael's touched many times. Jerome Bettis has touched many times. You know, the best stadium you play in, I'm going to say Notre Dame.
We're going to get them on the run. We're going to go, 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 go. And we aren't going to stop until we go to that goal line. Don't forget, man, today's the day we're going to win.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installment of the new ND Nation Radio. This is our most full episode yet. If you're a part of ND Nation, chances are you're going to be on the show tonight. I am your host, Tim Daniel. We have a jam-packed show tonight. Announcements, big talks, great guests, everything you want tonight, we're going to get to it. Before we get into everything, as always, I got to introduce my wonderful panel, starting with the man from the home base, Jason Crape. Jason, how are we doing today?
Hey, we're great. Having a little cell trouble here. Switched to another phone. Hopefully that'll cut off, and we'll be able to get through the show. Really excited about tonight. We got a big show, big announcements, and great guests. So this is going to be wild.
For sure. And we can't go in without a show without introducing the man from the land of the blue turf. This is Steve Herring. Steve, how you doing today?
I'm great. Hey, everybody in ND Nation. Great to be here. Talking about the blue turf. It's not even there right now. They're renovating, but excited. Big show tonight. Let's do this.
And we don't have to get in too far before we get our first guest on. She is already on the line with us. This is Notre Dame's representative of the Volvo Big East fan competition. This is Lisa Kelly. Lisa, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
For sure. So before we get into the show, we do a little Notre Dame basketball talk. Tell us a little about yourself so people know who they're voting for and why they should vote for you, besides the fact you're supporting Notre Dame, of course.
Absolutely. I am Lisa Kelly, and I am the Notre Dame alumni rep in the biggest fan of the Big East contest. They chose a blogger who was an alum from every school in the Big East to compete. We've been competing since October. They sent us to New York City for Media Day. We got to go to the New York City Athletic Club and rub elbows with the coaches and players. And then they've given us 8 writing assignments over the course of the last couple of months to prove our fandom of our school in the Big East. And then each one of us was sent back to our alma mater for a weekend of basketball, and I happened to be there for the upset over Syracuse, so it was pretty great.
Well, it sounds like the Big East was looking up for you there.
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty fantastic. You know, my best moment at any Notre Dame game was probably the Penn State Notre Dame game football when I was a senior, but I think that Syracuse game tops everything. It was pretty fantastic.
Well, that's great. We're really glad that you are representing Notre Dame. You are part of the new ND Nation, and we do appreciate that. So, you are going through the big process. So do you know anywhere as far as where you stand, what we can present? And by God, please tell me you're beating the representative of the University of Cincinnati.
Oh, I'm telling the Cincinnati guy. No problem there.
Okay, good.
I am tied for first place right now with the Villanova guy. So far, they have scored 7 of our 8 writing assignments. And so right now, he and I are tied for first. And then they still have to score our final writing assignment, our alma mater weekend, and then there's the voting component. And that's where I need some help. I need everybody to come out and vote for me because I'm not doing so good in the voting part.
Well, folks, you hear her there. We've got to vote for her. We've got to help her out. We need Notre Dame to win another big thing, and be a Volvo Big East fan's huge. So, Lisa, can you ever tell everyone the link where we should vote for you?
Absolutely. If you go to my blog, it is BridgetMcGuires Filling Station. And in my blog, you'll see on the top right, it has all the links to get to my profile page and how to vote.
Absolutely awesome. So let's go ahead and bring in the guys. Let's talk a little basketball this week. Let's start, unfortunately, guys, with the men. Jason, was a little rough this week. Two losses. St. John's lost and the loss to Georgetown. Not the way you really want to go, but I know they're still in good standing. There's still that chance for that second round bye. What did you see from the team this weekend?
Well, just especially against Georgetown. I mean, Notre Dame's 41 points for the lowest in the Mike Brey era that they've ever scored in a game. So, Jack Cooley didn't play all that well. It's hard to, it's hard for these guys to, obviously it's a team effort, but when your big man isn't playing really well and when you live by the three or die by the three, we didn't shoot really well from three-point land. Well, I mean, against Georgetown, we were just over 17% from the three-point range. So, it was just, maybe it's just a fatigue. The funny thing is I was listening to an interview with Mike Brey, and he had said that the last time they had back-to-back losses was the last time that they had a road swing like that, where it was, a couple games in 3 days. So history kind of repeats itself there. But, senior day is Friday, so they're going to go out and, hopefully go out with a big win here at home in the Purcell and, get back on track for the tournament and hopefully still be able to get that double bye.
Yeah, I was looking over the schedule, and this has been such a run that they had, and it was unexpected. And you got to look back. When they started this run on January 16th, to Rutgers, to be honest with you, there was a chance that they were on the NIT, and they ripped off these wins against top 20 in the Big East, positioned themselves for a Big East tournament. And you don't want to say it came out of nowhere, but it kind of did. And they're firmly entrenched. They could probably lose. You don't want them to, but they could probably lose to Providence this week, and then maybe even lose in the first round of the Big East and still make the tournament. So they've gone out and they've done the dirty work that they had to do to get into the NCAA tournament. The glass half full as far as frustrating losses. They're on the road, 5 days in a row. It was not an ideal situation, and the winning streak ended, but they got to start another one. And I think they're still strong heading into the tournament. And I think they have a lot more momentum than a lot of the other teams in the Big East.
Well, Lisa, what are your thoughts on this game coming against Providence? Like we said, they're going off 2 losses. I'm looking at the standings now. It looks like if they do get the win on this week against Providence on Senior Day, they do clinch that second round bye. They are one of the top 4 teams. What do you expect from the team going into this last game?
I don't see any problem with them going in there and beating Providence. As we saw with us going into Georgetown, it's very difficult to beat the home team on Senior Day. So, I think Providence will come in and will take care of business. And, if they get this second round bye, there's a good chance we won't have to see Syracuse until the final game of the Big East tournament. So I think they're going to be just fine. They needed to get these losses out of their system, and now they're good to go.
And, guys, bringing you back in, I think this goes back to what we said about the women after the West Virginia game. I think this is another case of, it's better to lose now than let down a few weeks down the road, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't help the standings any to lose this late in the season because it's what you're doing now that counts. But yes, it's good to get it out of the way. They're maybe, like I said, some road fatigue. Guys are tired. If they can, and I'm looking here. It says that if they do beat Providence at home, they will get the double bye, and they'll be the number 3 seed for the league tournament. So, that's good stuff. And now they're going to have to, almost a week of rest and some practice time. So, yeah, I got a good feeling about this game coming up.
Yeah, you hit it on the head right there. If they just got to clear this Providence game, They're going to be at home. They've been doing there of late. They get this double bye. I mean, this team is obviously weary at 100%, much longer than most teams play during the course of the season. They, like I said before, they did the dirty work. They're going to be in the tournament, and they toughed out that big heart of the schedule. The wins over number 1 Syracuse, over UConn earlier, over Marquette. Those are the ones that are on the resume now. They're going to get in, and yeah, like you said, that double bye is just massive. Get those legs freshened up. Jack Cooley was not his normal self this past week, and I think that he can tower and be prepared to do some damage.
Absolutely. Well, that's our touch there on the guys. Let's talk about the other side. The women do clinch the Big East regular season championship, and I'm getting a good feeling that we're going to see Skylar Diggins win Big East Player of the Year, and they do it in great fashion, beating my all-time favorite women's coach, Gino Auriemma. If you listened to the show last week, you understand my joke behind that. It's great to see this. The women will be traveling Sunday to Hartford for the Big East Women's Tournament. So, Lisa, what were your thoughts on the women's team this regular season? I know this is the first time we really get to talk with you, but how enjoyable was it for you to watch this team play? Because we gave these guys, we pushed these ladies to the moon each and every week.
They look fantastic this year. I mean, they are a very physical, scrappy team. They're not going to let anybody push them over. Skylar is just amazing. She comes out on the court with the ball and looks like nothing can stop her. She has so much confidence, and I expect good things out of this team. I'm a little nervous about, if they end up having to face Baylor. The girl that Baylor has is 7'2". I mean, she's ginormous. That's gonna be a big challenge for them, but I think they can do it. I think this is their year, and they have every opportunity to go all the way.
Absolutely. Well, guys, like I said, they beat Connecticut. Obviously Connecticut is the big name in women's college basketball, it seems like the past decade. It's always nice to beat them, but let alone get to sweep against them. How enjoyable was one night for you, Jason?
Oh, yeah, it was great. I want to go back to something real quick, if I could touch on it with men's basketball. Just a reminder that this Friday, Senior Day, former Irish basketball great Adrian Dantley will be put into into Notre Dame's Ring of Honor this Friday. So that's a huge accomplishment there. So just wanted to mention that. But yeah, you're right. As far as the women, they to beat UConn is obviously a test all the time. But think about this: Skylar Diggins, Natalie Novosel, and Devereaux Peters were all named to the Big East or the All Big East first team. Devereaux also was the Defensive Player of the Year again. She actually got that award last year as well. So if you look at what you've got on that team and the players that are out there and what they do. UConn hung in there first half. I actually thought it was going to be a pretty close game, and the ladies in the second half just dominated, took charge, and Skylar Diggins dishing the ball off. And once they contained Stephanie Dolson from UConn, which was a challenge. She's a great player. She could definitely be a Player of the Year as well. But once they got her contained and limited her damage, then they were fine. So just made a good adjustment in the second half, which they're really good at doing. And when they play like that, they're unstoppable. I mean, when they're on a roll, you're not going to beat them.
Yeah, I think I mentioned the date, February 27th, about the show for the last 3 or 4 shows. Big showdown. They had to get there. Some cool stats coming out of that. I saw that it was the first time UConn had lost three consecutive times the same opponent since some of those really dominant mid-2000s Tennessee teams. I think those are equal Holtzclaw teams. So this is really cool. And then, the tournament for the Big East Women's is going to be back up in Connecticut, up in Hartford. So they're going to go through there again, maybe get another chance to take down UConn. And at that point, that would be back-to-back wins against UConn in Connecticut. Amazing. Lisa mentioned we're not afraid of Baylor. We're not afraid of Brittany Griner. We're ready to take them on. That's what we want for the national championship game. We want to take them toe-to-toe. That would be the perfect finish of this season. So, get through this tournament and then get ready for Griner, hopefully in the champion.
For sure. Well, Lisa, we will get you out with one question. If you are a betting lady, are you picking the both men's and the women's Irish to win their conference tournaments?
Absolutely.
I knew you were going to say that. Well, Lisa, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the new ND Nation radio show. We got to have you all back on once the contest is final. So like I said, before we let you go ahead and give everyone a chance where they can follow you, contact you, and how they can vote for you.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Twitter. I am the number 4, Leaf Clover Girl. My blog is BridgetMcGuires Filling Station, as named after a fine establishment that used to be in South Bend. Either one of those places, you can get all the information, and voting goes until March 5th, so you can vote as many times as you want, and I would greatly appreciate all your support.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, I do actually have one person, Kathy, here in the chat room, wanted me to say hi to you.
Hi, Kathy.
And like I said, we want to thank you for coming on the show and getting a chance to get your name out. We'll be sure to vote for you, and thanks again. We're more than welcome to come back on the show anytime.
Thank you. I'd love to. Go Irish.
Go Irish.
Thanks, Lisa. Good luck.
Thank
Go
you.
Irish.
Bye-bye.